phrase. We got a lot to get to, but before I drop this open, I just want to let everybody here know that licorice is the worst flavor of anything. I really sat down, thought about this. I don't like cherry flavored, really anything, but I really dug deep in the bag and, sat down with myself and was thinking about the worst flavor. Licorice is the worst flavor of anything.
How'd you get here? Did you have a Twizzlers recently or something?
No, I've never, it's always been so bad. Like ever since I was little, they're like, oh, well, your taste buds change every 7 years. And there's some stuff I didn't used to like that I like now. But licorice, I've just never liked it.
I don't care for it either. But
have you ever met anybody that's
synonymous with cherry?
No,
You're just saying you don't like either.
I don't like either, but licorice is the worst. Like I would rather have to eat something cherry and just bite the bullet on that than anything licorice. Like I just can't do it.
Yeah, like the only people who eat licorice to me is like vampires or something like that.
Yeah, well, like
I thought you'd be a black licorice fan.
Can you really anybody that likes licorice? Like I like you, I don't have a problem with you. Do I trust you?
Oh, there's someone in the booster club.
We can be friends.
Oh no, there's people that like it.
Yeah, we can be friends, but we can never be boys.
I don't know about that. I think we could. I think we could be boys, but like, there's a lot of questions. I need some other.
Discriminate against taste
not in my
buds
policy.
like that?
No, you can't be running around eating licorice and expect.
Well, it's like the same people. If you don't like pizza, like how much can I trust you then?
That is true.
Whoa.
There's certain things that if you don't like,
who doesn't like?
That's
I actually have a friend who doesn't like pizza.
What do you mean?
Not a Zah guy.
Doesn't like it. Like
he just doesn't like. I'm like,
he doesn't
how
like
can
a certain
you not
kind.
like
You don't like pineapple
of bread and cheese and meat.
I don't think I have a single friend out of my illustrious friend group that doesn't like pizza. Like,
I thought you were just going to stop and say, I don't think I have any friends.
Well, maybe.
All right. Well, the NFL preseason is upon us. Will the Patriots win over 8.5 games on the season? And we break down the top quarterback battles in college football. There's some really good ones. I'm Jake Crane. Welcome to Crane & Company. Will go down as possibly the greatest head coach in NFL history with 6 Super Bowl wins, had 2 as the DC, and deservedly so. But fast forward to today, and I feel very confident in saying Bill Belichick is not only on his way out, but he will never win another Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be fired because he's earned the right to go out his own way, and they did make the playoffs last year. But it seems like Belichick is trying to win the same way he did with Tom Brady, and early returns are showing that probably isn't going to work. Now, Brady could have average weapons around him and elevate everybody's game to a level where they're effective enough during normal and crunch times to be able to generate enough points to win. He's relied on good defense, elite special teams, and a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback to help secure what is a dynamic legacy. But it seems the only mountain he has left to conquer is being able to win the big one post-Tom Brady. Now, Brady just went down to Tampa and won another ring, almost played for another one last year. So it wasn't just being in the Belichick system that made Tom Tom. The stubbornness of using the same formula is showing itself not to be in the best way to go about things. And if Belichick wants to leave a legacy that wasn't just being lucky enough to have Tom Brady, he wants to leave a legacy that it was his system that not only created Super Bowl winners, but also the best quarterback who ever lived. Now, asking Mac Jones to win the same way that Brady did is not only unfair, there's no chance of it working. And Mac's going to be a good player, right? I'm not going to deny that, but he is not and will never be Tom Brady. It seems Belichick is doing things even more outside of the box than normal as well, letting Matt Patricia go from a DC and former head coach to now the OC. And the Patriots continue to deprive Mac of legitimate playmakers who can make his job easier while trying to rebuild what is usually a pretty stout defense, especially in the back end. Now, Patriots fans aren't satisfied with just making the playoffs, and they don't want to fall back into obscurity because the winningest coach they've ever had wants to make it about his system and not the signal caller. Now, we may just find out that Belichick was more of a system coach than Tom Brady was a system quarterback. Now, none of that diminishes anything that Bill has done as a head coach. But there is one common denominator in all the Super Bowls the Hall of Fame head man has won. That is Tom Brady. And without him, it seems like the ride's over. Now, Cone, I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to bring in Ted Lasso over here. But
Believe.
I am not saying that Bill Belichick is not a good coach. He's an elite coach, one of the best ever. But I give Nick Saban credit for being malleable once he got to the mountaintop to be able to maintain his success. And people will say, all right, well, it's easier in college than it is in the NFL. We can have that debate. But it seems that Belichick is not going to switch up how he does things. He is not going to switch up the formula a little bit. And I bring back Saban because he saw offense was changing, the rules were changing, which rules have changed in the NFL as well. I don't know if Belichick is that malleable. I think he wants to do it one way. It worked, obviously, with Tom Brady. They won a ton. But Mac Jones isn't Tom Brady. There's not another Tom Brady out there. And I don't think going about it this way is the way to go.
I think he has shown, though, that he can win in different ways. When you look at that first dynasty that he had with Tom Brady, Tom Brady doesn't get those first 3 Super Bowls unless the Patriots have an elite defense.
Yes.
Look, later, that next sort of tier of dynasties that they were able to create there, I think they were able to win more with the strength of Tom Brady. So that is impressive. They were winning more with offense than with defense. It does appear that Bill Belichick is stubborn at times, and while I think he is the greatest coach of all time, and he could retire right now and could be the greatest coach of all time, I question some of the moves here being made recently. And like we've always talked about, we have questions about Bill Belichick as a GM more than a coach, but we let it slide because when you win 6 Super Bowls, you built up the equity. But when I look and I see that, Matt Patricia was a great defensive coordinator for the Patriots, doesn't make it as a head coach with the Lions, and comes back, and now the Patriots technically have no AC. I mean, Matt Patricia is the senior football advisor and will call the plays. Where I get frustrated is when we hear these reports out of camp that Mac Jones isn't playing well. And I'm like, well, how much success is he being set up for? If Matt Patricia, former defensive coordinator, is calling the offensive plays now, and he really doesn't have this stable of weapons around him. So that's my biggest question right now.
Yeah. And Blaine, my thing is, and I'm not saying the Patriots won't make the playoffs. I'm not saying the Patriots won't win a playoff game. But I don't think Bill Belichick wins another Super Bowl. And in all actuality, I don't think he gets close. Because again, Tom Brady, if you just break it down, and it may be an oversimplification, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick win a lot of Super Bowls, have a ton of success. Could have had 2 more. Giants, we can go back and relitigate that. But when you look at when Tom leaves and he goes and wins another one without you, and the Patriots don't look like they're going in a great direction right now. I know Mac's talented, but again, Mac is not Tom Brady. And I know he's only been out for a couple years, and I get it, but he's never going to be Tom Brady. There's probably never going to be another Tom Brady, and I don't know if Belichick's going to switch his flow up.
Well, I go back to this. So Belichick, when you said in your monologue, without Tom, he's a system coach.
I'm saying, I think, so a lot of people said that Tom Brady was winning because he was in Belichick's system. And I agree with Cone that they were very defense heavy early in Tom Brady's career. And it's not like Tom didn't have big drives. Remember him bringing them down, Vinatieri kicking the 48-yarder to beat the Rams, whatever. But when I look at Tom leaving and winning a Super Bowl, and then the Patriots now were just kind of like, blah, I know they made the playoffs. That system worked great a while ago. Just like the way that Nick Saban's system, who he learned from Belichick, who learned from Parcells, was to play great defense, be able to run the ball, have a good play-action game, and a quarterback that knows what's going on is not going to lose you the game, and play great on special teams. That's how they won. Tom Brady turned in this elite superstar and he did have Randy Moss. He did have a couple guys that were elite around him, but not for the long haul. Tom Brady made everybody else better around him, but the Patriots were always pretty good on defense. So what I'm saying is, it's like a stockbroker who had a lot of success in the early 2000s doing it one way. Well, the market changes, and you got to adjust. You can't keep running the same play over again and expect it to work as the game evolves. You have to evolve with the game. So I'm not saying he's a system coach. I'm saying that the system he wants to use, the one he's always used, isn't going to work without Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, and in today's game.
Okay, so he's not a system coach, basically, is what you're saying.
I'm saying he's more of every coach. Every coach is a system coach. Every coach.
This is the greatest coach of all time, right? And saying without one player, he'd be a system coach. I feel like that does somewhat diminish what he accomplished, right?
Well, I think
if you're that high. If you're the tippy top of the totem pole,
so
right, and one guy taken away makes you a system coach. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I kind of went through today and looked at it. I mean, Bill Belichick without Tom Brady, he's 70 for 79. All right, He's 29-58 against team with 500 winning percentages or better. So I feel like there is some evidence to show that. But worries me is that if you are the best ever, right? If you are the best ever to ever do it, put on the headset in the NFL, and that's what we're saying, right? And if one guy taken away can make you a system coach, I feel like that does somewhat diminish what you've accomplished on being the greatest ever.
Well, again, I think two things can be true at once. I mean, you could say, well, Phil Jackson had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, but he's still looked at as one of the greatest coaches of all time because they did win. You could say the same thing about Steph Curry. There has not been a coach, all right, that has had a ton of success that didn't have great players or an elite player. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, I think Tom Brady was more important in the long run than Bill Belichick in the Patriots winning those Super Bowls. I really believe that. Now, when I say system coach, every coach has a system, but every coach isn't malleable enough, or every coach isn't too stubborn, or most coaches are too stubborn to change it after something has changed, the game has changed, the rules have changed. So Bill Belichick is not switching his flow up. And to me, I think you can honestly say the numbers bear it out that Tom Brady was more important than Bill Belichick was.
I just don't know if you're the greatest ever and you're not malleable to be able to change. Like that, those two things.
Well, they have
those two things don't go together.
Well, okay, but he still does have 6 Super Bowls as a head coach.
But that's more Tom Brady, right?
Yes, but again, okay, would you say that the Bulls winning was more Phil Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Didn't Phil win with the Lakers?
Yeah, who had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, like
he's won in multiple places.
Two things can be true at once.
Let's ask it this way. If you flipped Mac Jones and Tom Brady this season, you put Tom Brady back in New England with Bill Belichick, and you put Mac Jones on this loaded Tampa Bay offense, where do you think this shakes out for both those teams this season?
I would be willing to put my money on the Patriots before I did the Bucs. I really would. Again, Tom's giving me no reason. Tom's won it with not great.
So what you're saying is this only a quarterback problem in New England right now?
No, but using that and trying to put Tom Brady into like generic terms for what Tom brings. Tom is like the anomaly. He's the exception to the rule.
So you take him out of it and take Mac Jones out of it. How many quarterbacks are in the NFL right now you think could go to the Patriots and they would be your Super Bowl favorite this season?
Oh, none.
None?
I mean,
if you put Josh Allen.
If you put Mahomes over there, you could make an argument. But again, I've seen Tom take average teams or average offenses for the Patriots and go win a Super Bowl. Like, I just think Tom was so good at elevating people around him. He was so good in that locker room of staying on people. And obviously he's very talented as a quarterback. I just think that Belichick is not going to win another Super Bowl if he doesn't change. And it's not Mac Jones' fault. Like, they have no weapons around him that are legitimate. You just got to call a spade a spade. Just is what it is. But Tom Brady could elevate that offense to a place where you could have a chance. There's not another Tom Brady out there, and I think Belichick is trying to do what he used to do, is skimp on offense, get more guys on defense, because Tom Brady can lead the offense to be good enough because he's Tom Brady. Now, you don't have Tom Brady. So you got to pick another way to go about it, and I don't think he's going to do it.
So if I put a line on Bill Belichick coaching for another 3.5 seasons, would you take the over or the under?
Under.
Under?
Over.
You take the over? Mm-hmm. Just because he's stubborn and wants to...
Are we saying his head coach or
70, right?
He's 70 years old.
Yeah, I think he's got probably 4 or 5 years left in him.
Let's say this. Say the Patriots don't make the playoffs 3 years in a row, okay, over the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. You think he goes in that 4th one as a head coach? Or do you think he rides off in the sunset?
Well, I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
not any. Well,
how many years
well, actually
Mac
get us
been
into
in
the over-unders here then.
How many years has Mac been in the league?
This will be
this is his
year 3, right?
Well, he won it in 2020. This will be his second.
Second.
I mean, hell, it's his second year in the league. Let's give
maybe a
the
breakout.
Kid some time.
Maybe a sophomore year.
Okay, who's he throwing to?
It's a valid question.
Who's he throwing to?
He doesn't have a lot of weapons.
I mean, Tom didn't have a lot of weapons.
And that is true. But
yeah, but Tom Brady again. If we're asking Mac Jones to be Tom Brady,
we're not.
I can go ahead.
We're not. I'm just saying. I think
Bill
Mac Jones some time.
I think Bill Belichick is.
Hell, just took him to the playoffs his first year. Let's give him some time for his second year. Who do you have to throw it to last year?
Yeah, more than what they have
Mac
this
Jones
year.
Or Brady?
Yeah,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Oh, okay.
Again, but again,
and James White just retired.
Do you think the Patriots fans are fine with going to the wild card and losing?
No, they're not fine, but you have to understand something. It's your quarterback's second year. I mean, you just drafted a new quarterback. How many first-year quarterbacks are going to come in there and win you the Super Bowl?
Well, at least you got some young quarterbacks that have weapons around them.
True. I mean, you can't blame that on. I'm talking about Mac Jones. Like, give Mac Jones some time.
I'm not blaming Mac, but I don't think if you gave Mac Jones 300 years with the receivers they have now, that they're going to win a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I understand,
you think
but they obviously
can Super Bowl
this year.
Yeah.
No.
What about next year?
No.
What about year after that?
Maybe. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe they'll have some players that
give Mac some time.
Yeah, give Mac some players.
Well, the Patriots over/under for wins this season is 8.5.
Let's go through.
How do you feel about that? You want to go through it?
Let's go through. Let's tell everybody who's in the division first. Let's tell everybody who's in the division. Because when I say I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, I legitimately mean that.
The Patriots?
Yes.
This season?
I legitimately mean that.
All right, so obviously they have Dolphins, Bills, Jets, right, in that division. So here's their schedule. At Dolphins.
Loss.
At Steelers.
Loss.
Ravens.
At home. Loss.
At Packers.
Loss.
Lions.
Win.
At Browns.
Win.
Bears.
Win.
At Jets.
Loss.
Colts.
Loss.
Jets.
Win.
At the Vikings.
Loss.
You get Buffalo at home.
Loss.
At the Cardinals.
Loss.
At the Raiders.
Loss.
Bengals.
At home?
Yep.
I'll give them a win on that.
Dolphins, home.
Win.
And then you finish up at the Bills.
Y'all winning 6 games. Patriots winning 6 games.
Ooh, 6 games.
Y'all winning 6 games.
Blaine, your brother says the Patriots are winning 6 games, man.
Yeah, so I'm taking the under on that. I'll smash.
What do you have?
8.5?
8.5.
Give me the over.
Okay, at 9, or do you think they win 10 games?
That's where it gets dicey.
Well, you just
That's
need
where
9.
it gets dicey. The 9 and 10, because I know there is someone out there who made a bet with a lot of parlays with a 10.
Yeah.
And I can see it someone, but 9, I'll give them 9.
I have 9 too. I have 9 and 8. Here's how I'm thinking about it. Dolphins, Bills, Jets in their division. Let's just say it's a split. They win 3 there. Their away games are at Steelers, Packers, Browns, Vikings, Cardinals, and Raiders. Let's say they get 3 of those. Maybe Browns. They play the Browns week 6. That would be before Deshaun Watson comes back. Not expecting a whole lot from the Cardinals. Maybe they can beat the Steelers on the road.
Not expecting a whole lot from the Cardinals. I mean, Kyler Murray. What week do they play the Cardinals?
Hollywood Browns out.
What week do they play the Cardinals?
Check it out. Hold on.
Because D-Hop's out 6 games.
Week 14. So and it's on the road, so fair enough on that. And then your home games are Ravens, Lions, Bears, Colts, and Bengals. Think they can beat the Lions, Bears, and Colts?
Oh, I think that, look.
If that's 3-3-3, then I have them 9 and 8.
Again, I got them 8 max. 8 wins max.
Okay.
Not making the playoffs.
Just watch. 8 or 6?
I said 8 max, but I would say I'd meet somewhere in the middle and say 7 wins. I said 6, 7 max, then I changed my mind. I want 8 max.
Look, it's either 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
That's not what I said.
How about the...
Yeah, you said Oregon's going to beat Georgia. Don't worry.
I did say that.
People don't forget.
I did say that. And I'll like keep saying it because I said that, so I'm not going to just change it.
Yeah, people
I
don't
love
forget.
it. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to
I want to watch that game with you.
I say stuff in my chest.
All right, well, they open with the Giants preseason. Preseason's here, boys. What about the Giants over-under? Right now, it's going off at 7 games.
I can't believe it's at 7.
Are you smashing the under?
Let's roll through it, and then let's get to the booster club, because I can feel the spidey senses are tingling on that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what they say. All right, here's Giants. Here's the New York Giants regular season schedule. At Titans.
Loss.
Panthers.
Loss.
Cowboys.
Loss.
Bears.
Win.
At the Packers.
Loss.
Ravens.
Loss.
At the Jaguars.
Win.
At the Seahawks.
Win.
Texans.
Win.
Lions.
Win.
At the Dallas Cowboys.
Loss.
Commanders.
Loss.
Eagles.
Loss.
At the Commanders.
Loss.
At the Vikings.
Loss.
Colts home.
Loss.
And then at the Eagles.
No, I got the under. I'm going under on both of these.
Are you?
I would say I feel a lot better about the Giants under than I do about the Pats. I go under on both of them.
Look, Giants under. I don't even have to look at the schedule. So yeah, I don't even have to look at the schedule. Give me the under.
I have them at 7 and 10 right now. I wish it was a hook so I could.
Danny D, big improvement this year, Dave?
No, I mean,
big fifth year improvement here.
I'm just thinking, like, okay, they're going to play Washington twice. I mean, are they losing both of those? Are they going to lose both to the Eagles, both to the Cowboys? Again, that division is just.
I think they're definitely losing both.
Are they losing? Are they going 0-6 in the division? I don't think so. I have them winning 2 of them.
And I like Daboll.
Let's say 2. Maybe they can win 2 on the road. Maybe Jags, Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't beating them, are they?
Look, here's the thing. You're having to convince yourself where the wins are. That's how I know.
Bears, Texans, Lions. They could beat the Bears, Texans,
I thought
and
you
Lions.
were kind of high on the Lions.
I'm not taking the over, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Cone's like, well, if it's Thursday and a full moon the night before, and you mix that with the tears of a gypsy, you get 7 wins. All right, Blind Booster Club, before we get these quarterback battles.
BJPS09XU13 says, if your team plays the Cardinals after the new Call of Duty comes out, don't worry, they have a really good
Yeah, that's true. I was going to be watching a lot of film of that.
Okay, Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Is Belichick the greatest coach of all time if he doesn't win another Super Bowl?
6 is a lot, man.
6 is a lot,
That's
man.
6.
Look, okay? Bill Belichick's a hell of a coach.
And Tom Brady is an unbelievable quarterback, but Belichick still drafted him. At some level, he gets credit for that draft.
That's true. Do you think
a lot of teams passed on him?
Belichick put the hit out for Bledsoe? He's like, hey, man, new contract. We don't believe. We love Tom.
I don't know about that.
Now, I mean, look, again, man, 2 things can be true at once. Bill Belichick can be a great coach. Tom Brady can be the greatest quarterback of all time. All I'm saying is it's amazing if you really want to look and compare. Because remember, they had riffs every now and then when he left, it was, well, was it more Tom? Was it more Bill? Well, you know how many Super Bowls each of them's won since they departed?
I do.
Tom's got 1. Should have really played for another. The Buccaneers just absolutely forgot for the first half, and then the Rams tried to give it back to them in the second half. I mean, they fumbled close to the goal line twice, tried to bring him back in it. But again, what if Tom wins another one? What if Tom wins another one? What if it's 2?
That's the Michigan difference, man.
Is
that what they're saying?
Yeah, is that what
they're saying in the chat? The Michigan difference playing?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, your boy Jalen Rose.
Now you do know.
Andrew Hamill, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. Which NFL has a brighter future?
Which NFL?
That's how I'll read anything you put in the prompter. So. Yeah. All right. Which NFL team has a brighter future? The Jaguars or the Jets?
God, this question.
Just for my
look, it's the Jets. Zach Wilson learned how to ride with the fear.
Yeah, listen. Zach Wilson's out there dropping bombs on your mom, so give me
Love
Zach
that.
Wilson. Ride with the fear.
Look, man.
And I like what they got up front. Even though I think Becton's done for the season, the offensive tackle. Yeah, it's just tough.
I think the Jets need to call Richard Todd back up.
Yeah.
Got a couple throws left. He could probably get us tickets then, too.
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, Jets for sure.
Joe C says, love the bold Oregon take over Georgia. Way better than Clemson, Ohio, and Alabama, and Georgia being the 4 teams that make the playoffs. Thank you.
Well, when it happens, guess what? You know what we call bold stuff here? Lies. Absolute lies. It's Liza Minnelli up in here right now.
Brendan Moore, hashtag Ask Crane & Co. What is the best pizza topping and why is it pineapple? Get out.
Yeah.
Pineapple?
Look, man, maybe if you're in
He
Hawaii,
knew he just wanted to start
I don't want to do it. Listen,
He's coming to stir in the
I'm
pot,
old
maybe.
school. I want deep dish. Maybe a little stuffed crust with the deep dish. Really, East meets West. Get a little weird there. Best topping is pepperoni.
Okay, I'll pass on the deep dish, but I like the pepperoni.
You don't like deep dish?
Pass.
You don't like the
I'm
other
not saying I
guys
don't
with
like
deep
it.
dish?
Look,
What's wrong
at the
with
end of the day, it's pizza. I'm saying if you give me that choice with traditional or even thin crust.
I just want a nice pepperoni za from Domino's. That's all I want.
Za.
The $5 carryout from Domino's got me through college.
Keep it simple,
I got
stupid,
a lot of people. You're not
right?
the only one.
All right, who you taking? I can't remember who asked this questions. Aha, I found it. Travis, Mac Jones or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Mac Jones.
Kirk
That's a good one.
Cousins.
Mac-
He's
I might
experienced.
I might take Mac. Bright future.
What, are we saying over the next 10 years?
Or
Are we
is
saying
it next 10 years or
be
just
a little
this
more
season?
specific?
Just this
Yeah,
season.
be more specific.
Be more Pacific.
Be more Pacific.
Yes.
I mean, this season I'll take Kirk, but
yeah, that's exactly right. You'll take Kirk.
Yeah.
Mac Jones, young Kirk.
They're all the same.
Right High says he's definitely taking Bo Nix over Daniel Jones.
Well, that's
Daniel
weird. That's you know what? I don't know how wrong you are
Dark horse for Heisman.
on that
guys.
either. All right, let's get to our top quarterback battles in NCAA. Not the game, but the next one's coming out in 2023, and I, for one, am super duper excited. But
You'll go 5-1?
let's go 5-1. The 5 most, and I want to clarify this, the 5 most interesting quarterback battles because, and the way we ranked it was how good we think the teams are going to be and obviously how big of an impact it's going to have on not only that team, but college football. Cone, let's start at 5.
Number 5, start with the Auburn Tigers.
Look, it's going to come down to Calzada and TJ Finley, but how different really are they? I think Calzada's going to win the job. I do. Do worry about his changeup a little bit. I feel like he's kind of the guy that throws the slant 100 miles an hour, like for no reason. But how different are they? They're both kind of statues. They can't run. They've got big arms, but you're not how much more are you getting out of Zach Calzada than you are to TJ Finley? And how good is Auburn going to be? Even though I will say Camden Brown at wide receiver, that's what they look like. Chick Dawson, guy I've been screaming about for 2 years. Wait till you see Tarvarish Dawson on the field. He's an NFL player. And they got some other guys through the transfer portal going to be interesting to see. But I mean, Blaine, from an Auburn standpoint, while it's an interesting battle, and TJ Finley, I mean, I say that, he eluded the police pretty well, but on the moped, but I mean, how different are Calzada and Finley?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, this team's going to be a 2-quarterback system.
Oh,
that's what it's going to be. I hate to say it.
7-5. It's 7-5.
Yeah, it is.
It just smells like 7-5.
What do you mean? Like
both of them are going to
one drive.
It's going to end up. They're going to name a starter, obviously. It's going to maybe get through 3 or 4 games. You know, he's going to start underperforming, and then we're going to have the mix. This guy in on this drive, this guy in on this drive, this guy in on this drive. It's going to happen. I can already see it.
Well, it's like I said, Auburn will start out 5-0. They'll start out 5-0. First 5 games at home. They'll beat Penn State week 3. LSU will come to town week 5. Somehow Auburn will miraculously win that one. Like Batman will show up. Something crazy will happen. Some bird will run into a ball at the end. The guy's wide open for LSU to win it. Just a bird. Maybe it's the eagle. I don't know. Hits the ball. But then you go to Georgia. Boring. Then you go to Ole Miss. You got to go to Mississippi State. You get Arkansas at home, which I do think they'll win because, again, Jordan Hare's built on an Indian burial ground.
Weirdly, Auburn always plays good against Arkansas. I don't know why.
Well, unless it's at 11 in the morning on Jefferson Pilot, Fred Talley is still running for touchdowns in my mind. But that's number 5 for me, so yeah.
Okay. Yes or no? Does Zach Calzada start every game for Auburn this season?
No.
Okay. All right. Next one. Number 4, Ole Miss.
Very interesting. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Luke Altmaier. And if you remember, when Corral got banged up last year, Altmaier came in against Auburn, looked good. You remember in the bowl game. This dude can do it. Now, you brought in Jackson Dart, and I get it. Jackson Dart, I do think deep down, Dart is going to win the job, but because he's more mobile. But I tell you what, Luke Altmaier has a chance. Luke Altmaier and Garrett Nussmeier from LSU are 2 very, 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 very interesting quarterbacks to me. I would not be surprised if Luke Altmaier didn't play and Jackson Dart had a big year, if Luke Altmaier transfers somewhere and ends up being a really good player. Because I watched that kid last year, was not afraid of the moment at all coming in Jordan Hare. I like it's a good battle, but I do think Jackson Dart wins it.
Okay. How about you?
Mobility plays a big part in, I think, Kiffin's offense.
Okay. Man, these former USC quarterbacks are all over the country.
I know.
It's
JT
nuts.
Daniels.
It's nuts.
Slovis. All right, number 3, LSU. Interesting quarterback battle.
Very interesting. I think this one has big repercussions. And this one's interesting because while Altmaier and Jackson Dart are different in the way they can move, the difference between Miles Brennan and Jaden Daniels, and I know people are saying Garrett Nussmeier's in it and stuff like that, but I think it's going to come down to Daniels or Brennan. Daniels took all the first-team reps, I believe, in practice the other day. It's looking like Jaden Daniels. You know, it's like Justin Timberlake. It's like, it's gonna be me. Like, it really
sounds just a lot.
I know, right? Well, we are in Nashville. Anyways, when I look at Jaden Daniels, it's so intriguing to me because he's such a different player than Miles Brennan. And I will go back to what I said the other day, and I know y'all disagreed. The best player is going to play. Well, the best player can be the mobile quarterback. That's a real thing. Yeah. Miles Brennan, when he's been healthy and been in there, has been really good, but something always happens, and I feel like you are so much more dangerous with Jaden Daniels, with guys like Boutte, Besh, the guys they have on the outside who can extend the play, those broken plays where maybe the protection's not great. LSU in the offensive line is going to be interesting. Being able to extend that play and make big plays down the field is something I think that's very enticing about him. But I do worry that Jaden Daniels puts the ball in harm's way a lot.
I mean, I agree with you. This one's very intriguing to me because these guys are so different, and this is a first-year head coach there with LSU, Brian Kelly. It would be higher. It would be number 1 on my list, to be honest with you, if both of these quarterbacks were better. But we don't know exactly what we're going to get here. I mean, we're hearing some words out of camp, and Matt Moscona was breaking this down for us.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to be the guy. And, you know, Brennan, like I said, he's been at LSU since the school started. But, you know, again, it just is what it is.
I think it's Daniels at the beginning. He makes too many mistakes, and Miles Brennan ends up being the quarterback at LSU.
I bet they play FSU, and Jaden Daniels balls. I bet he balls, and everybody freaks out. And then as the season goes, we'll see. And look, a good LSU is good for college football. A good LSU is good for the SEC. But I've got to see it before I believe it.
All right, number 2, Texas A&M. Max Johnson transfer from LSU over to Texas A&M, and they already have Haynes King.
We went back and forth on this. Should this be number 1? We're going to get to number 1 in a second. I think both have good arguments. I just still feel, and I love to see our boy Damian Craig working with the quarterbacks. I know he's a lot more comfortable with that. I still feel, and I think you agree with me, Max Johnson has so much potential and can run that system. Not that Haynes King can't, but I just feel like everybody gets enamored with, oh, Haynes King runs 4.4 and this, that, and the other. Well, that's great. Max Johnson's fast enough to be a problem on the scramble. He's smart enough to be able to work inside the pocket, and he has all the intangibles. And this obviously has huge repercussions for what happens in the SEC West, for what A&M wants to do. This battle is fascinating to me. I just think Max Johnson's going to be the guy. Will he be the guy game one? I don't know, but if it is Haynes King, I feel like he's going to struggle. May struggle a little against Miami, who's got a hell of a quarterback in their own in Tyler Van Dyke. But Max Johnson eventually is going to be that guy, and A&M fans are going to fall in love with him.
This is tough. This is tough for me because you really have, what do we know about Haynes King? You know, what do we know? We know what Max is. Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be easier to gravitate to what Max does. I mean, Max is an extremely good quarterback, but I've been hearing so much hype about this Haynes King kid for the last 2 years, so much hype. So if he's really about it, if he can really run a 4.4, and he can actually be a somewhat above average.
He can really run a 4.4.
Above average thrower, then I don't see why Haynes King wouldn't be the starter for Texas A&M.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Y'all know how I feel about Max Johnson.
Yeah,
and it's going to have big implications in the West.
I don't think Max Johnson would have went to A&M if he really believed that Haynes King was all about it. I don't know if A&M would have taken him in if they really believed that Haynes King was all about it the way they've recruited. They've got Wegner. They've got other guys that you can get ready. They brought him in for a reason.
I agree with that. Okay, so number one on the list, I have Michigan as the most interesting quarterback battle this season because both quarterbacks are so good. You know what you're going to get from Cade McNamara, and the ceiling is high for J.J. McCarthy. And also because Michigan is going to be so lethal on offense. They really are. You get Ronnie Bell back from injury. Blake Corum returns. And this Donovan Edwards kid, I'm telling you right now, is like a Debo Samuel who can play. He can play in the slot. He can play at running back. Michigan is going to be lethal on offense. What they do on defense, I'm not quite sure yet. But it's going to be this battle. Cade McNamara had one of the most efficient seasons I've seen from a Michigan quarterback since Chad Henne played there. But you know what the ceiling is, and you know what the floor is, so it's comfortable. You don't really know what the ceiling is on J.J. McCarthy. Sounds like it's through the roof.
Yeah, well, I want to say this, and I'll start with the Georgia game. Last year, the play calling had a lot to do with how that Georgia game went down. Cade McNamara wasn't in great positions the whole time, or wasn't really giving it up. They gave him Michigan called vanilla ice cream. They played it safe on offense, so it's hard for me to blame Cade McNamara. But it's also hard for me to think. I know J.J. McCarthy, first off, the backup quarterback's always the most popular guy on the team. That's how it works, especially when you're a phenom like J.J. McCarthy is. But I have a hard time in my heart of hearts believing that Michigan would replace the guy that finally got them over the hump against Ohio State, that got them into the playoff and was unbelievably efficient, especially with a guy like Harbaugh, who is a quarterback, who is a quarterback's coach, that understands that McNamara understands. Now, McCarthy last year, they bring him in packages and stuff like that. I think you'll see that again. And unless McNamara struggles early, I don't think there's any way McCarthy gets named the starter. Because, again, what are you telling that locker room? Like, because they know that they rode with Cade last year. This was the leader we had, and he took us here. And when you got there, the play calling was not up to snuff. It just wasn't.
So do you think that J.J. McCarthy will just be a package quarterback this season? And if that's the case, what happens going into next season?
Well, again, I think it depends on how Michigan does. If Michigan has another big year and makes the playoff, I mean, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I think you'll see McCarthy either leave if he knows he's not going to be the starter for the next year, or I don't think he's going to change positions. But I just don't see a world in which you replace the guy that you trust, that understands the offense, that won big games. I know it wasn't always pretty, but he was unbelievably efficient and got you basically to the promised land. I just don't see them doing that.
Yeah, and they could have had John Elway on that team and they weren't beating Georgia.
That's exactly, especially if you called those plays.
I agree with that, but, I mean, the best player is going to play at the end of the day. If you're the best player, the overall best player at that position, you're going to play. And even if the guy before that took you to the playoffs, won big games, that's great. And if you're a true leader, you're going to understand when someone's better than you at that position, you're still going to support that guy and you're still going to support that team, regardless if you're really a true leader. So I don't really know enough about McCarthy, his passing abilities. He did just come in on packages last year to run the ball, really. But I feel like his ceiling's a lot higher.
He can sling it now.
He can sling it. So his ceiling's a lot higher. But if you want to go with the pick that you know what you're going to get out of it, then, yeah, I understand. But
it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. It's an interesting situation. That's why you build depth. Iron sharpens iron. I'll use every cliche back in the book. But Booster Club, we want to hear your answers, who you think top 5 college football quarterback battles right when we get back from the break. Remember, If you want to watch the rest of the show, we're going to keep the audio here. Head over to the Daily Wire Plus. Become a member. Listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with all your friends. It's football season. Woo! We got it tonight. We're coming right back with more analysis. It's going to blow your mind. All right, if you don't know, we have the greatest grassroots audience club movement of all time ever of eternity. It's called the Booster Club. Blaine, what's percolating up in there?
Papa Link 90 says Michigan QB battle won't matter after they lose to Michigan State and Ohio State.
Are they going to beat Michigan State this year, Cone?
It's still going to matter. We play other games, but...
Do they?
What'd you ask me?
Are they going to beat Michigan State this year?
Don't ask me those questions.
I mean,
I need
honestly,
to see it. I need to see it.
Mel
I
Tucker?
need to see it first.
Well, I'll tell you, Michigan State's going to lose to Washington. Just remember I said that. Just
I
write
like
that
that
down. Put it away in a little place you're going to find later when you get off work.
I like that
That
pick. I don't
situation.
necessarily
They're not
agree,
beating
but
Ohio
I
State.
like it.
You could have 3 J.J. McCarthy's running around the not beating.
Jonathan Herndon wants to know, does Michigan win the Big Ten championship?
Of
this year?
course. Of course.
You got 'em-
You know
you
where my
got Michigan
allegiances
winning it?
lie? What do we come on here and
Are you coming to this from an area of bias or like true analysis? Do you truly believe that, or are you saying that because...
Do I have to answer part 2?
Yes, you do.
Look, here's what I'll say to you. The Buckeyes are going to be tough to beat. Is that what I need to say to you?
Okay, if I was holding you over a bridge
Yeah.
and I said, Cone.
The boys in Columbus look good.
Okay, all right,
Put it
that's
like
what I
that,
needed to hear.
all right?
That's what I needed.
Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Creighton Company. Why the hell does Texas get ranked preseason top 25 after so much failure? They even got a number 1.
And not Fresno State.
Because it gets clicks. We do this every year. Has anybody figured this out yet? You know why they do the preseason coaches poll and this preseason poll and that preseason poll? And you want to know why typically the same teams that get overrated every year in the same spot? Because you keep clicking on it. And you keep buying it. You sell magazines and newspapers, pamphlets and brochures. They'll buy all of it. Texas isn't finishing in the top 10. Let's call a spade a spade. I don't care what Blaine says. Quinn Ewers isn't winning the Heisman. Texas is going to be fine eventually under Sark. I was talking about the guest we had on yesterday, Mustache Man.
You said Blaine.
I said the first thing, you had Texas winning the Big 12.
Damn right.
Yeah, ain't going to happen. Let me tell you a story about a time that didn't happen. It's that story. What else?
Okay, question here from the Daily Wire chat. What celebrity would you like to see run a 40-yard dash?
Celebrity?
Yeah.
Gal Gadot, just because I want to see her?
That's such a good...
Does that mean I get to be there? If I'm there, Gal
Yes,
Gadot, I
yeah.
care less about the 40.
Peter Dinklage.
Oh.
Just because I was watching Game
He's
of
running
Thrones last
20.
night. Look, I was watching Game of Thrones last night, and he really is phenomenal.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he'd run a 20.
I'd
not
probably say
40.
Stephen Hawking. All right, is Chris Leak and Tim
Wait,
Tebow
what are you
the only successful 2-quarterback system ever?
Is Chris Leak and Tim Tebow?
Yeah.
There's been here's what we gotta discern. If we're saying a 2-quarterback system, like true, we're splitting series, not the hey, every once in a while I'm bringing you in the red zone, or every 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 I'm bringing you in there to just Taysom Hill this thing and go get the first down. If we're talking about true 2-quarterback system, yeah, that's the best one that comes to mind. I don't. There's been others that have been somewhat successful, but eventually somebody overtakes the other one. Do you remember that quarterback room they had, though?
Mm.
It was like Chris Leak,
Tim.
Tebow, Cam Newton,
yeah.
John Brantley. Like that, that room was ridiculous.
That was a good
that's
one. And
probably
Chris Leak was nice, man.
That's probably Chris Leak was nice.
So
he was
good.
nice.
All right, Will Hewitt, hashtag Ask Creighton Co. After listening to Draymond Green's comments on his podcast today, he said he wanted to ask us the same question. Prime Melo versus Prime KD, who is a better pure scorer? Super close, and I think it's a pick'em.
Well, Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall. So if it's close and it's basically a pick'em, give me the guy that's 7 feet tall.
Me too.
Now, if we're talking about like who to build your team around, no, KD, Hurricane Durant, just blowing into town, flooding the city and knocking all the stores over. Yeah, I'd go KD, though. I'd have to go KD.
Yeah, you'd have to go T. I agree. All right, David Atkinson, hashtag Ask Creighton Company. What team is most in danger of underperforming their preseason expectations?
Danger?
What are we talking? College
Danger.
football here?
Yes.
I'd say Texas. No, probably. But, if I ask this, I know West Virginia doesn't have super high expectations, but I think they do. have some decently high expectations with JT Daniels coming in there and Neil Brown being there for a while. But like I said, I got him going 3-6 in the Big 12. I don't think it's a whole lot of sunshine. I don't think they're going to be burning a lot of couches there in Morgantown. But, Wisconsin's interesting to look at. Graham Mertz, can he, figure it out again after he just totally forgot last year? There's a couple, but I'd say Texas just because everybody's hyping him up. They think Quentin Ewers is the second coming. And while he's going to be a really good player, and I think he's going to play in the NFL, I don't think Texas is winning a bunch of games. Just don't.
I'll go with Clemson. Still a lot of question marks. Question marks at quarterback. You lose both coordinators, especially one of Brent Venables' caliber. And that rivalry game at the end of the season, that thing's going to start meaning something with Shane Beamer at South Carolina.
How long? I got asked this on the radio the other day. How long is it going to take for South Carolina to beat Clemson? You think they beat them in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I think Spencer Rattler being there is going to help start that. Not because I think Spencer Rattler is a great quarterback.
You think Clemson loses this year?
No, but I just think that him being there, again, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I'm not a big Spencer Rattler fan, but I do think it is good for South Carolina and it's good for Shane Beamer to be able to go get a quarterback in the transfer portal of that caliber. Again, this is going to get more and more
shows relevancy.
In there,
right? I agree, and he's recruiting well. I think, so South Carolina hosts them this year. I don't think they beat them this year. I don't think they beat them at Clemson next year. But the year after that, when they come back to Columbia, that's when I think
put a little future on that one.
Yeah, put a nice little future on that one.
All right, couple things here. All right, Tyler Fidel, #@Crane in Company. From what I've heard and seen on TexAgs, it sounds like Haynes King will most likely be the starter game 1, but we'll see if that doesn't change throughout the season.
Well, if that's the case, then Texas A&M, y'all have a great quarterback.
Yeah,
because Max is good.
Look, 8-4. Haynes King starts. I'm telling you right now. If Haynes King's a starter, it's 9-3 or 8-4.
Why do you say that?
Just because I don't think he throws it well enough. Okay. I really don't. I think we get caught up. And again, am I there to practice every day? No. I know Damien and those guys know what's going on. I know Jim and them know what's going on. But I just don't think Haynes King is this guy that everybody thinks he is. I know the sample size isn't huge, but I watched his eyes last year. I think he looks at the rush too long, and maybe he's grown up a lot, and I could be wrong. And like I said, I'm high. I may pick Texas A&M to win it in 2023. I'm just telling you, start Haynes King, that Miami game worries me. The more I look at it, the more it worries me. I know where is that one? I think it's at A&M. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's at Kyle Field. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't trust Haynes King. I don't trust him. And I know Matthew Hutton and them in the chat probably tell me I'm crazy. We need to get Billy Lucci on here to talk about it, whatever. I just don't trust him.
Have you seen enough not to trust him?
Yes. I've seen enough to trust Max more.
Says it's at Kyle Field.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's something.
Do you trust Jimbo Fisher?
Who's the third string quarterback out there? The young kid.
At A&M.
You know I'm talking about? Yeah,
I think it's Wegner.
Yeah, that kid.
He's nice.
Do you trust Jimbo?
Yeah, but again, I don't know what all was done in the background, man. Like I don't know what was said to who, when it was said. But look, if Haynes King is a starter at A&M, I don't believe in it.
All right, serious question here. David Atkinson wants to know, best pizza garnish. We should never bring up pizza in the show ever again. Because it's like a whole thing.
It's in the chat?
It's a whole
Are they just talking about pizza?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
What do you mean by garnish?
Best pizza garnish, red pepper flakes.
Y'all know where I'm going with
Parmesan, Tabasco sauce, ranch, or other.
Well, out of that grouping, Parmesan. But I'll tell you what I like to put on my pizza.
You know what I like to do? Can I just keep it a stiz, as the kids would say? When you get Papa John's and they have the pepper in there? I'm talking about the flakes, but the actual pepper. Mm-hmm. I like to get the pepper and cut that up and put it on the pizza.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well,
all in the name.
Okay. So are we? So we're in the trust tree.
We're in the trust tree.
Look, what do you like to? I'm putting anchovies on my pizza.
No,
every
you're not.
time. You're anchovies.
You really do that?
Yeah.
You're lying.
You're lying.
David.
I'm not.
You're lying.
All right.
You're not a good liar.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Me neither. I hate it.
You like anchovies on
pizza together. You weren't running around looking for anchovies.
Where did we eat pizza?
A bunch of places.
Your house.
Serious question though. I'm not getting them from Domino's for God's sakes. We go get a solid.
And you don't get anchovies on it.
All right.
Well, I've never seen.
Where do you
that.
get anchovies?
At the pizza place. Text Darby Lou right now.
Oh my gosh.
She's probably
you
going
don't like
crazy.
the other guy.
She's probably going crazy in the chat right now.
How do you
I asked you if we were in the trust tree. You're over there talking about chopping up peppers and putting them on the pizza.
All right, well, that's not
God's
anchovies. I'm not grabbing something from the sea and
Look,
throwing
y'all
it
know
on.
my answer.
I'm not going to lie. I love it.
Yeah, it's ranch. Because you have a problem.
Ranch is good on
Yes,
pizza.
sir.
You see how I respond to yours? You see how I respond to yours because we're in the
I
trust
was thinking
tree.
about, I was like, I'm asking you a question. I'm confused because there's multiple occasions where we've eaten pizza together.
I don't think we have, or else you weren't paying attention.
Wow.
I'm putting
Okay.
the
So now you don't
anchovy-
remember. Now you don't remember the times we've eaten pizza together. So now I'm hurt.
So I'm going to hand
Want to hug it out later?
Okay.
Damn right I do.
For everybody on audio, I'm going to hand you what's on this side of this piece of paper when it comes to me thinking you like anchovies on your pizza, and I just want you to say it out loud.
Okay. David, I love you.
No, that's not what it says, David. Don't ruin
It
this.
says CAP.
That's cap. 'Cause
Yeah, I
you're
don't know what
Captain
that
America
means.
right
I don't
now.
know what that means. That's a hat. Okay?
You're using a lot of kid slang today, huh?
I'm trying to get in with the
30 plus and saying cap. Nice.
Yeah. Well, you're 28 years old with a mustache.
Damn,
so
I'm 27, man.
You're about to be 28.
You just get my age right.
Your birthday's
Birthday
August
coming
20,
up.
brother.
You and Baby Ace, birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're basically 28.
Shout out to Baby Ace. Good hit yesterday.
Yeah. Just when you're going to get a white van with the word free candy written on the side of it.
Now I'm going to shave it. No, it's fine. I'll shave
Oh,
it.
wow.
I'll
Okay.
shave it.
Okay.
I'll shave it. Because apparently,
Peter
it's just the
Burns is
worst
right.
thing.
Oh
ever
boy,
to
here we
happen,
go.
you know?
Here we
You're
go.
going to make fun of me saying cap. And
Darby Lou in a group chat with all of us. David eats anchovies only on his pizza, no lie.
Wow.
There you go.
So
Now it
you-
started.
I just want everyone to know that you did not eat anchovies on any pizza.
I've never
you've
seen
ever
you eat an
eaten
anchovy before in my life.
Good. Well,
You put them on margarita pizza?
margarita pizza.
That's your favorite type of pizza, isn't
You
it?
put margarita on.
I didn't say it was my favorite pizza. If we're going way back, I said it's the most traditional type
That's
of
not what you
pizza.
said.
Okay, it's most traditional.
Boy, this
there is no other
just
pizza
evolved.
without the margarita pizza.
Thanks, Booster Club. You wrecked
Golly,
the
you
show.
just derailed here. We were having
Yeah,
a
let's
nice
do rapid
conversation
fire.
about
Let's move
Texas
on.
A&M football.
Yeah,
Blame
let's
me,
move
guys.
on.
This is on them.
Let's move on. Little rapid
I
fire.
like it. I like it. Rapid fire.
Yes.
Deshaun Watson's going to start a preseason game. I thought this guy was suspended. What's the deal?
Man, look, I told you.
Oh, also, hold on.
Yeah, hit that. Go ahead. Here's the thing. It's not a regular season game. They're waiting on the appeal. I've got no problem with it. They're going to give them a year because they went from one extreme, only 6 games. People get upset. They saw that. Then they went to the other extreme, indefinite suspension. So you made those people happy, upset the other people. Now it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to be your suspension. So they piss you off, make you happy, piss you off, make you happy, find it in the middle, and move on. That's the NFL's play. It's run more than inside zone.
How can you suit up in a game in the
I don't get
preseason
it.
if you're suspended? You
It
don't
don't
care.
make- it doesn't make
matter.
sense.
You want to move on to Little League?
That just doesn't make sense. Like nothing
No, it doesn't
about what the
make sense.
NFL, Roger Goodell, do makes sense at all.
Okay.
I mean, this guy, that's
Yeah.
like 70 masseuses in like 4 months. He shouldn't be allowed 500 feet of a football stadium. Like legitimately. Like, could you imagine like one of your boys? It's like, hey man.
No, it's just
Like,
like
hey man, I got arrested. It's like, what'd you do? It wasn't like
Just like
it
on
wasn't
Grandma's
It
Boy.
wasn't like anything
just like on
it's-
Grandma's
it's
Boys. Like,
crazy,
I loved
yeah.
him so much.
It's like,
She's
man,
dude.
I had 70 masseuses in 6 months.
The ladies at Madame Kamei's.
It's ridiculous. This dude's suiting up.
Weirdo.
First of all,
100% weird.
why? Browns?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just paid this dude basically 2 planets in the
And you
solar
know what?
system.
You know
and you're
what's
going to go play a preseason game.
You know what's hilarious? When it was like, hey, he already sat out a year. It's time served. He was still getting paid. He's still getting paid. What suspension? You suspended with pay. Well, you know what? Sign me up for that, bud.
All right. We talked about this a little bit yesterday,
Yeah,
but
we
we
gotta
didn't
talk
have the
about
clip.
this.
We have to talk about this Little League baseball clip right here.
Okay.
Because I still want to get to our trivia question.
Okay. I just want to say this before we play this clip. I am not up here trying to make fun of 12-year-olds. What I'm saying is,
If you're starting there, if you're starting there,
You'd start a sentence
Yeah.
by saying that.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm just saying, youth baseball's a lot different today than it was back then. We're going to play this clip, and for audio, I'm going to be explaining to you what happens, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. So you got Texas versus Oklahoma in the Little League World Series. Go ahead and play the clip. So the pitcher, boom, hits the kid in the head. Obviously, it freaks you out. That's how it works. He's on the ground. Coach comes over to him. He's fine. He's at first. Then all of a sudden, the pitcher starts crying to the point where the kid who actually got hit in the head by the baseball walks over and consoles him. And I know what you're thinking. This is really sweet, right? This is a great moment. This is really cool. You'd be wrong.
It
You
is.
would be wrong. Number one, Why is the guy? You hit a guy. He's fine now. I get you're upset. I get it's the bottom of the first. You've already given up 2 and the bases are loaded. It's not going good. But if I ever, even as a 12-year-old, because anybody that ever played travel ball as a 12-year-old or played All-Stars or got up to a certain level when they're 12 years old, there is not a more vitriolic sport, not only between players but parents, than that age of baseball. If I cried, you could have cut my leg off in the batter's box, and if I cried, my dad would have drugged me off the field. I wouldn't have had a ride home. But what I don't understand is, if I'm that guy at first, and the pitcher's crying, and you may say I'm over-competitive or whatever, but in my mind, we got you. We got you. You are off your rocker. You're giving up runs. I'm clapping it first. We're in his head. We're in his head. I'm just...
At 12,
man,
at 10, at 11?
The game has changed a lot.
Let me jump in here because I can feel Blaine. Yeah,
I'm going to let Blaine go on.
Played a lot of Little League baseball. A shout out to the Bloodhounds. Maybe the greatest team. The Bloodhounds, maybe the greatest team I was ever a part of.
Yeah.
Okay, now that was some fun. I've hit a lot of batters. All right, never cried. 10 years old, 11 years old, never cried. I've been hit with a lot of pitches. None of those pitchers ever cried. None of those pitchers ever cried. If they did, I wouldn't have gone up and hugged them.
No.
Let's just start there.
Okay.
I don't think so. There's nothing that would have said in me like, you got to go to the mound and hug this kid.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I think it's a little weird the kid's crying when he hits the batter. I get that. But the kid who goes up and gives him a hug, I have nothing. I'd
have tagged, if I was the pitcher, I'd have tagged him out.
I have no problem with this. Some things are bigger than life. That kid's winning.
Some things are bigger than life?
Yeah. Some things are bigger than baseball.
All right, Blaine, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was looking at this.
Just feel you right now.
I was looking at this, and this was really, when I saw it, but then I looked at the teams.
Yeah.
The teams, right? I believe it was like Texas East
and
versus Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Some real Big 12 stuff going on. Yeah. Look, in the SEC, that ain't happening. I promise you, that is not happening. It's not even like, David, I go back to what you said. I'm not even that upset that the kid started crying. Because really, do we know why he was crying? Is it because he hit the kid in the head?
Or because
the bases were loaded in the bottom of the first.
Just blowing it in the biggest.
Are you scared of what your dad's thinking right now?
Yeah.
Can you feel your dad looking at you right now, and you're trying not to look
from the outfield fence,
right?
Like I used to do.
You throw a ball and you just hear that one voice in the background who's saying something while they're walking away.
So does this tell you that Texas and Oklahoma is not ready for this?
It's soft. This is soft to me. As a kid who went to the Dixie Youth World Series, one thing, look, I don't care if it's your best friend on the other team, grew up together, you did everything together, all right? You're not friends on that field. That's baseball. That's football. Hell, that's basketball, even if it's a court. After the game, y'all can hug for 15 minutes. Y'all can just
cry in each other's arms.
You can cry in each other's arms.
That's weirder,
that's fine.
right? 15 minutes?
Is it? I would have hugged that guy from Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, that was a hug.
Cute. Yeah, cute. I would have hugged him. But what's on the line here?
Yeah.
This is to go to Williamsport or wherever it is. To win this,
it doesn't stop being on the line when he goes and gives him a hug. They can still go.
I don't know.
I feel
how much do you care? How much do you care?
You can still run him out of the game in the first
only way I'm doing that if I'm going up and I'm pretending to hug him and I get in his ear and say, "You're blowing this."
Well, like stuff like this, I feel like this is why China keeps testing us.
Okay, well, I am on the hashtag math and push-ups.
Like if they, they're over there doing math and push-ups, and we're crying in each other's arms at the mound.
Okay,
because I hit you with the ball.
I want to get this trivia question in. This was a hot topic this weekend when I was back in Woodfield with the Woodfield.
You ever been in a hot topic, David?
Huh?
David worked at David's the tallest person that ever worked.
Is that the gothic stuff?
Yeah.
The black, all the black? No.
You come in there, it's like, yeah.
Hashtag unsubscribe, all right?
Yeah.
You two are on a team for this one.
Okay.
Okay, you get 90 seconds to answer.
Good God.
I want to know which 10 Power 5 football programs have the most losses since 2000. Since 2000, Power 5 teams, college football. Which 10 programs? Okay. See how many you can name. I'm going to give you 90 seconds.
All right.
Ready? Go.
Kansas.
Check.
Vanderbilt.
Check.
Let's look Pac-12, Blaine. Not Washington State.
Cal?
Is there Cal?
Nope.
Ooh, man, really?
Colorado.
Yes.
Nice. Let's go.
It took me the longest one to get.
We said Kansas.
Duke.
Yes.
Yes. Nice. Stay hot. SEC. Who would be SEC?
No more in the SEC.
All right, no more in the SEC.
You said Vandy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Big Ten, Blaine.
Rutgers.
Yes.
Yes. 2 more in the Big Ten.
Indiana.
Yes.
Not Iowa State.
Syracuse.
Yes.
Nice. Stay hot, kid.
How many is that?
7. You said another one in the Big Ten. Think. Purdue, Northwestern.
No.
Wow.
I said them too.
Oh, God. Who am I missing?
Big Ten. Come on, Blaine. Think. Ohio State, Michigan.
It's one that we're not going to.
Not Purdue.
1 minute. You're at 1 minute. No.
It was going to be Purdue.
Give me out of the Big Ten.
We're looking at ACC
Okay.
here.
You got Pac-12 and 1 more in the Big 12.
Arizona.
Arizona.
Nice.
And 1 more where?
In the Big 12.
In the Big 12 and 1 more in the Big 10.
Not Iowa State.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
You got 1 more?
Yep.
More Big
in
Ten.
the Big
Come
10.
on, Blaine.
10 seconds.
Come on,
Ah!
Blaine. 10. Not Michigan State. Indiana.
Yes! Indiana!
Did he?
Yes!
Oh, I thought you said Illinois.
Come on!
Let's go. Let's go.
That was well done,
Great
guys.
job, man.
I love it.
Put me on the clock. Put us on the clock. Good job. Team effort there,
It's
Blaine.
fun right there.
Teamwork makes the
Nice,
dream work.
man. See?
God, y'all got me gassed up, man.
That took me into
We got
like 10 minutes to get.
Do we want to hit the Von Grissom home run real quick from last night before we get to
It's
We have
always
that.
the Braves.
Yes. Well, guess
Every
what?
highlight of
It's
the
not
day is
always,
the Braves.
but this one's fun.
Last night, this is our play of the day, too. Von Grissom, just think about this from an optics situation. You get called up for your first Major League Baseball game, your dream since you were a kid. You grinded and worked for it, and it's at Fenway. And then in the top of the 7th, you're up 3-1. There's a runner on first. Let's play this clip so I can just look at it and get emotional.
And now Grissom facing a left-handed pitcher up
Just
for the
listen.
3rd time in his big league debut. Swing!
America! And you hit it over the green monster.
That swing is perfection.
That is absolute cash money, baby. It's amazing. Hashtag trust Alex. The Braves, and I know it's one game. We'll see him and let him play. But
It's one of that.
I'm telling you, the Braves are just pumping out all-stars. Don't trade everybody. It's like Dylan Drum said. Don't touch it.
How many home runs? Was that his first game?
That's his first game. Yeah. First game, and he absolutely hit
So
one.
he's going to be an all-star?
This year. This year.
Eventually.
He's already an all-star.
This like, they're going to replay the All-Star game.
They're running it back.
If your last name's Grissom and you play for the Braves, I believe it.
I heard
Shout
a
out
fire
to
name. I heard a name that was so fire the other day.
JJ Bleday.
Was that the kid?
Vanderbilt. I think he played at Vandy.
He hit his first home run?
Yeah.
No, it was a kid who hit his first home run, and his
his
name
name?
against the Phillies.
It's like
And
Jet or
It's like
something.
his whole family was there, and after they hit it, like they painted the camera to the family, and they're all flicking off a Phillies fan. And
That's how you know.
Trevor Wilson?
No.
but
It was
he will.
like truly. A name means a lot in sports.
Oh yeah, like
We talk about hair, gives you too much, the nice flow.
Yeah.
It increases your fielding percentage
Yep.
and gives you a couple more RBIs on the season, just how it is. But last night, very excited about it. Not going to talk about it too much.
running away with it, Crane.
Not
You're running away with
Not
it.
excited
Crane.
about it. Nobody
Congrats.
cares.
Hey, go ahead and whip the podium out.
No, yeah. You know what?
Go and get the
Beach
podium
day.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't let me win this month. I
Oh.
did say, as God is my witness, I will track you down this month.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my ear to the ground.
He
and
really
listen to
wants
both
it
feet.
bad, yeah.
Yeah. Here's what we got. Tonight, it's football, so I'm betting it. Okay? Here's what we got. Giants, -2.5. That's going off at -115. They're treating it like a real game because the Giants want to win at least a couple this season, even if it's in the preseason. I think Daniel Jones is going to play. Then the Patriots, Giants, over 33.5. I'm feeling Giants 31-17. I think a lot of points.
Giants are going to score
A
30
lot of
plus
points from the
points
Giants
This
tonight.
season or tonight?
A lot
Yeah.
of points
Is
from the
this a
Giants
total for
tonight,
the season?
fellas. A lot of points from the Giants tonight.
31
Remember, I
points.
said it.
They're gonna win the
So
Super Bowl.
again, trying to just have a good night, have a good time. Everybody's friends. Cone, what do you got tonight?
I am actually pumped. There's a preseason game, but not pumped enough to touch it. I just can't
I'm
touch
not
it on
doing
my
it. I'm
picks.
not doing it.
Going to stick with a little baseball. Orioles plus a run and a half at -195. Let's just, let's get something going here. Let's get something going. Middle of the month, stay hot. And then Cubs, Reds, no runs in the first inning. Nerfy plus 100. Get a little value there on that bet.
Yeah, love that.
Love to
Look, I
see
took
it.
2 dog bets yesterday, went 0-2. So obviously I learned my lesson. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 2 more dog bets. That's what I'm going to do.
Doubling down.
Yeah, you want to talk about a unit jump? This is what I'm taking today. Cubs, Cincinnati, Nerfy. plus 100.
Is that what I
Okay,
have?
bet
That's
buds.
wrong. That's Cones. All right. Sorry, I can't see that.
It's
I'm getting old.
all right.
It's the Orioles, Red Sox.
yes.
Okay, Nerfy
Yep.
plus 115, and then first pitch of the Cubs-Reds game. Any other outcome plus 1,200. Okay, let me explain this to you. I'll break it down to you fundamentally.
Plus 12.
Okay, plus 1,200. It can't, if the guy swings and miss, if it's a strike, all right, whether it be or a foul ball or a ball,
He's got to put it in
or
play.
if they hit him.
He's got to
All
put the first pitch in
it
play.
doesn't count.
If he gets
has
out
to
or
put
safe.
the first pitch, doesn't matter if he gets out.
Doesn't matter if he gets out.
No. Doesn't matter if
So
he
he
gets
can
a
just
home run. If he puts the ball in play.
Pop up,
It
ground
doesn't matter.
out.
Can't be
single.
foul, though.
Wait.
Can't
If
be foul,
he
though.
flies out, if he fouls out in the air,
If he hits a fly ball and they catch it in foul,
In foul territory.
it
No,
doesn't
he don't-
count.
no, it does count.
That's
Said
an out.
No.
Is that foul though?
It's a foul out. If he
hits it,
Blaine, I know the bet. He's got to put it in play.
it didn't say foul out though. It says foul.
That's still foul.
Is it?
I think it's an out.
That's
it
an
doesn't
out.
matter. It
That's
matters
an
what the
out.
book says. I don't know.
You know what?
We
No,
gotta
let's
look
do
this
this.
up. But I like the pick.
We're here.
I like the
Go
pick.
ahead.
Hey, just
look at it while I'm reading.
Yeah,
Hey, Blaine,
Look
you're
it up.
just wanting to swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From there,
Just hit
from
him.
there, let's just see.
Ground out to second. What a great time for a ground out.
Ground out to second.
All right,
plus
Baby
1,200.
Cone, who is 11-7 on the month, to quote Missy Elliott, he flipped, twerked it, and reversed it after starting out 1-6. I totally screwed that up. Yeah, sorry, I'm not up on my Missy Elliott lyrics. He wants the Reds plus 1.5 at minus 195, and the Titans, also known as the Titans, depending on where you're from, minus 110 at plus 3.5. Blaine, have you done any research on the bet?
Okay. No, I mean, it really doesn't give me enough. Okay, so it says taking strike, swinging strike, or a foul ball doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
So any other outcome. So if he hits
But
it
if-
and he gets out, that's any other outcome.
That's an out. That's not a foul ball.
yeah, that's not a foul ball.
All right, so we're saying if he fouls out to third, then it counts. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
We can say it. All right, we make the rules here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here's what we got. Booster Club picks. Tall Riot's 8-0. Knocking on heaven's door. He wants Ian Happ to get at least one hit at minus 190. Tyson's right hook is 5-0. He wants the White Sox Royals Nerfy, which I think may have already hit at minus 135. BJPS09XU13's 5-0. He wants the Field of Dreams Nerfy.
Oh, yeah.
Reds versus Cubs. That's a short porch. Williams DG's 4-0. Wants the Ravens money line. God, I just love seeing stuff like that in the bets. Lets me know football's here.
White Sox Royals Nerfy hit.
That a boy. Tyson's right hook, knocking him out. All right, Katie Rose, 11-9, once 4-0. Kyle Schwarber, hitting Schwarbomb. She wants him to get at least one hit at minus 150. JMPB _ the only one is 3-0. He wants Titan Ravens over 32.5. Sammy V's 3-0. Marlins Philly. He wants up Marlins Phillies Nerfy. EJ Runis is 1-0. He wants Titans Ravens over 32.5. Jeremiah D. Wright is 1-0. He wants the Rangers minus 1.5 against the Astros. And then Snackham, welcome to the Booster Club, my friend, is 0-0. His first bet, Yankees to beat the Mariners.
Mm.
Poll,
Love to
boys.
see it. Poll.
Oh, what we got?
Anchovies on pizza are
Oh,
Mhm.
good, terrible, or get off my lawn.
wow. I am going get off my lawn 40%.
Good. 51%.
You're a monster.
Terrible, 13%. Good, 13%. Get off my lawn, 73%.
Get your ass off my lawn, Cone.
I am both.
their lawn.
I am both very pleased and disappointed.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
I love
I
it.
always love when that happens. But we appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Remember, we're going in the morning, starting here very soon from 6:30 to 8, and we're going to have a way for you to be able to call in and talk to us as well. Really excited about that. And like the chances of anchovies on pizza being any good at all and David liking them, we're gone.